Wagwan. It's been a week since I've made a 90 Day Fiance video, or maybe it's been 2 weeks since I skipped last week. And this review of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After is gonna be a little bit different than my other reviews. Or I guess this isn't completely a review, it's just me talking about the 90 Day Fiance franchise. And I'm gonna, of course, put in a little bit about what happened in the latest episode of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After season 5. The main reason why I did not review the last episode of 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After is because 90 Day Fiance overall as a franchise has this thing that they'll just keep feeding you episode after episode and nothing really happens, and they expect that each week we're going to come and watch because, you know, we're being teased, and these characters, these people that they give us, we're supposed to be in a state of infatuation with their life, so we're just gonna keep coming back each week. And I don't really feel that connection with these people like that. I feel like they're looking at the model of other reality shows and they're trying to apply it to the 90 Day franchise, and people like 90 Day because they bring on some interesting people. But when it's the same storyline over and over and over again, it becomes repetitive and boring. And if every week I'm going to come out here and do a review of the show, I would like for something interesting to happen so that I can add my 2 cents on whatever that interesting thing that happened was. And I'm not getting that from Happily Ever After yet. It hasn't happened. I feel like this week was the first time we actually got something where we can actually latch onto and say, hey, you know, Debbie's acting up or something of the sort. But week after week we just come and it's just the same thing. They're preparing to go, they're having an issue with someone not wanting to go do something, or it's just the same thing over and over. Asuelu and Kalani's story is the same thing from the first time we saw them, where Asuelu seems like he has a whole issue in getting his shit together, or an issue of getting his shit together. And the same thing with Angela, just getting mad at Michael every once in a while. And even though Angela is still one of the most interesting people on the show, for some reason, even though her storyline is repetitive, she's found ways to actually make it interesting because she's not doing the same thing over constantly. I guess that kind of negates what I said earlier, but she's doing the same thing over and over by complaining, but her complaints have different reasoning behind them, and at least other interesting things surround her storyline, so it doesn't get that boring. But with Andre and Libby, it's the same thing over and over. I was looking forward to Paul and Karini's storyline, the fact that they had to move to America and see what other obstacles are gonna come in their life now that they're no longer in Brazil. And all we're getting is just Paul kind of talking down to Karini as if she doesn't know some of the things that are in America. Like everything is just so foreign to her, like a grocery store. Honey, you took her to Kroger's, you didn't take her to some spectacular, one-of-a-kind thing. It's a supermarket.
Continua tentando me convencer que a América é melhor do que o Brasil, mas eu não tô impressionada com o supermercado dos Estados Unidos, pois no Brasil também existe supermercados grandes.
It's like he's putting her on display as if she doesn't know all these things that a lot of people know, or a lot of these things that she already know of. He's kind of making it seem like this is all foreign to her. And it's annoying.
Buy this and you get a discount.
It's okay, Paul. You have no money.
It goes to show that Paul doesn't actually respect Karini's mind, because what Karini is saying makes a lot more sense than what Paul is saying. Yes, we understand that you need the baby wipes. We understand that. And yeah, if you buy 5 baby wipes now, you might get a deal that's better than a deal that you would get later on, where instead you would pay $1 right now for each of those 5 wipes. Maybe next time you'd pay $2 for one of those 5 wipes. But you wouldn't have to spend the money that you end up spending for the 5 wipes if you just purchase one, because you don't have the money. If you're buying in bulk and you have more money to buy in bulk, then that works in your favor because you are saving if you would usually buy in bulk. But if you wouldn't usually buy in bulk, it doesn't matter if you buy it now or you buy it later most of the time, because normally you wouldn't actually spend that money, so you're not saving anything. You're actually spending more. And I feel like that's what Karini was trying to explain to Paul, but Paul refused to listen to Karini.
You don't understand.
Yes,
buy
I don't
5, you
understand.
save 5. You have to
It's
get at
okay.
least 5 to save
You
it.
don't need that.
We save $1 a thing.
No,
It's
you have
15
no
bucks for
money, it's
everything.
problem.
Are these good?
Stop.
I'll ask a pharmacist. I don't know.
É típico Paul. Bem absurdo.
If she says no, drop it, dude. Colt said that Debbie invited herself to Brazil with him and Jess, and it makes me, it's so annoying. We know exactly what Debbie is doing. That Debbie hoped that when she got to Brazil with Colt, that Colt would give her more attention than he gave to Jess. And because he didn't give her the same level of attention immediately as he saw Jess, they were kissing, they were talking about things that may be inappropriate to talk about in front of your mom. But, you know, Debbie's always there, so maybe Colt is used to talking about certain inappropriate things in front of his mom.
I'm very concerned that Colt and Jess are talking about having children and naming their children. And I'm a little surprised that they are putting their PDA out there a lot. And you should stop. Right now, I really want to go to bed. I'm really tired. And when I say I'm done, I'm done.
I don't know. Maybe it's time you realize you can't constantly be involved in your son's relationships and that you are one of the main reasons why his relationships fail. Yeah, you could be the problem. If every time he brings someone around, you always have something negative to say, maybe you're the problem, Debbie.
I don't know, maybe this problem is me. Now I understand Larissa call me and say, Jess, be careful, because Deb's terrible. She's really bad with me. Scream with me, she's rude, and she's not good. I scare about the rest of the vacation.
I don't think the problem is you, Jess. Okay?
And I don't know if she's trying to get the camera's attention or she's just mad because her man, Colty, now has a girlfriend. And Colt is making all kind of excuses for her. But Jess is onto it. Jess knows that she doesn't like her. Debbie doesn't like Jess. Jess is aware of that. Out of nowhere, as soon as you get to Brazil and you meet me, all of a sudden you are so tired and upset that you are yelling and cussing up a storm. That is inappropriate, and being old is not an excuse for that. Thanks for listening to me rant about 90 Day Fiance and how annoyed I am about it. Do you feel the same? Are you in the same boat where you're just so sick of these recurrent characters, these people coming back and not actually adding any interest to the show, just doing the same thing over and over and expecting that us as an audience would just eat it up and just actually just not stop watching? Because I'm really considering not watching the rest of this season if nothing is gonna happen. I'm really just curious about how Debbie's going to react to Jess, and after that I don't know if I'm gonna continue to watch. I see that they're previewing that Michael and Angela is gonna have another fight because Michael is considering trying to get Angela to live in Nigeria. Like, we all know how that's gonna end. It's not gonna end well. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have a good night, day, whenever.